Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It's Thursday, September 7th, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. A new booster coming, new charges for Hunter, a new storm in the Atlantic, and a new name for a country. It's all coming up. Then Bill will be here with your message of the day. But first, the FDA could approve a new COVID booster as early as tomorrow and could be available next week. The booster was designed for a variant that is no longer the dominant variant, but they say it's still really important. You got it. 97% of Americans have COVID antibodies. We know of two schools, an elementary school in Maryland and a high school in Alabama, who are mandating masks for students. A special counsel intends to bring an indictment against Hunter Biden by the end of the month on a gun charge. Do you remember the plea deal that was in the works? It fell apart when the judge said, wait a second, does this plea deal give you immunity for all future potential charges? Yeah, I don't think so. And the whole thing fell apart right there. Well, part of that plea was a gun possession charge. You can't own a gun and be a drug user. And the plea said that he would avoid prosecution if he did not use drugs for 24 months. Now, that was the old plea deal. We'll see what these latest charges are with this gun. Again, that will happen by the end of the month. There's a tropical storm in the Atlantic, Lee, potentially could become a Category 5 by the weekend. Headed towards the Caribbean now. Too soon to project a path if it will hit Florida or somewhere else on the East Coast. But conditions in the Atlantic Ocean are warm, which would cause it to grow. You're going to hear a lot, of course, about global warming. If this becomes a Category 5, the storms are worse than ever. We had a Category 5 hurricane in 2022 and 2019, and there's been 39 of them. 39 Category 5 hurricanes since 1924. By the way, Idalia's impact from damage is expected to be between $12 and $20 billion. The country with the most people may be changing its name. The G20 summit is going on, and the Prime Minister of India was introduced as the Prime Minister of Bharat. Heard it here first. That is what you are now to call India. Apparently, people in India use them interchangeably, but the Prime Minister is leaning into this Hindu nationalist movement, and they're looking to leave the term India behind. Again, India is now Bharat. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. The great Bill O'Reilly is here with your message of the day. Next.
The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I have been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Thursday, if you read stuff on the internet, be very careful. There are absolutely no standards of honesty or civility on some websites, and spending time on them will hurt you in many ways. Most of all, it will diminish your humanity. Sadistic people roam the net and post awful things. Everyone knows that. In the past, being a gutter snipe could get you sued or punched. President Andrew Jackson shot it out with smear merchants. But today, emotionally disturbed individuals can post hate anonymously. Recently, I was reading a news site when I came across attacks on the actress Jennifer Garner. It seems she went jogging without makeup, and a photo stalker took some pictures. The woman was then viciously maligned on the net for her appearance. Well, I saw the photos, and the actress looked just fine. The criticism of her was insane, but most likely hurtful if she saw it. Standards of civility are in a free fall all over the world as cyberspace gives power to the emotionally ill as well as evildoers with pernicious agendas. Pope Francis and other religious leaders have warned about moral dangers on the internet. Here in America, there's little our society can do about destructive postings because of the First Amendment. But some public condemnation might help. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the mail. Doug Snyder, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Bill, keep mentioning that Michelle Obama is the only one who could win the Democratic presidential race if she wanted to. How is that even possible? There's no way she's qualified. Well, 8 years first lady, Donald Trump didn't have any political experience, right? So qualification's not going to be a problem if Michelle Obama decides to get in. Sue Perkins, Denham Springs, Louisiana. Mr. O'Reilly, as a citizen and frustrated voter, please help me understand how, as citizens, we can stop this corrupt White House, Department of Justice. I vote as much as I can, but this McCarthyistic system is so dangerous to our freedoms. Voting is the only way. You can get involved locally in Louisiana politics, do that, but our system's set up where every 2 years for the House, every 4 years president, every 6 years for the Senate, you cast the votes, and same thing in your states. You got to get rid of these people, these progressives. Got to go. That's it. Randall, concierge member, term limits will happen at the same time a balanced budget happens, which will be when hell freezes over. All Democrats and 9% of Republicans never stray from the party line. It's true. I don't think term limits are going to happen. They don't want to give up their power on Capitol Hill. Bruce Rizzo, sir, that's me. Is it not true that a parent is legally responsible for minor children if they break the rules or damage property? Don't parents have the responsibility to protect and raise their children to adulthood? How can they effectively do that if a school insists on keeping them uninformed? They can't. Absolutely right. Parental rights, the progressives want to cripple parental rights. They want the state to raise the kid. Takes a village, right, Hillary? In a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. During a speech last week, President Biden told reporters he personally convinced Senator Strom Thurmond, an ardent segregationist, to vote in favor of the Civil Rights Act. A few inconvenient facts. The Civil Rights Act passed in 1964 when Joe Biden was in college, and Senator Thurmond voted against it. Despite his dubious remarks, Mr. Biden did have a close friendship with Strom Thurmond. Here's a brief rundown of the pair often called the odd couple. Thurmond served in the European and Pacific Theater of World War II. He was elected governor of South Carolina in 1946, then senator in 1954. His entire platform was the absolute opposition to desegregation. he was a racist. Joe Biden was elected to the Senate in 1973. The two served alongside each other until Thurmond's retirement in 2003, 30 years later. Biden and Thurmond worked together on a few pieces of legislation, including the opposition to mandatory school busing that would desegregate high schools in the 1970s. Thurmond personally gave Joe Biden his blessing to run for president in 1988. Biden was the keynote speaker at Strom's 90th birthday party, where he paid his respects to the so-called son of the South.
Strom Thurmond is in every respect the son of the South. And as it was said of Robert E. Lee, Strom is an opponent without hate, a friend without treachery, a statesman without pretense, a soldier without cruelty, and a neighbor without hypocrisy. That's been the story of my relationship with Strom. We're occasionally referred to as the odd couple.
And here's something else you might not know. Senator Thurmond launched his own presidential campaign in 1948 as a Dixiecrat. He won 4 states, received 1.1 million votes and 39 electoral votes, nearly all of them in the South. Back after this. Hey, if you watch my program or have been paying attention at all since COVID, you are aware of the risks we all face to our supply chain, critical infrastructure, and the power grid. Cyber attacks, gunfire, pandemics, all on the table. What would your family do facing a months-long blackout? No electricity, no fridge, no phone, no respirator, and an empty grocery store. Well, 4 Patriots has a new solar-powered portable generator. It harnesses the power of the sun, can be moved around the house, and is used to power essentials in a time of crisis. So don't procrastinate on ensuring your family's well-being at a time they need it most. Please go to 4patriots.com today. Use my code NOSPIN for 10% off. That's the number 4, patriots.com. Again, use code NOSPIN for 10% off. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.